everyone, so moving on to part 3 of this. Hopefully this won't run out on me and I can talk without any interruptions. So one social activity I did do okay in at primary school was helping for younger kids with their reading when I was in year 6. Each child was allocated a child in year 1 who had to read us a story, and I was told by the teachers that I was very good at this, as I could inhabit the role of teacher pretty well and I could relate to and look after the smaller children. However, one time I got told off for showing a book about puberty to year 1 children at break time. To me, I just thought it was funny because I was really interested in puberty, and we were in year 6 and we were learning about puberty, and it didn't really occur to me that this was inappropriate to show for younger children a book about puberty, so the book got confiscated. So that was, a little bit inappropriate. Outside of school, I sometimes annoyed random strangers. I didn't have any fear of people at that age. I was completely uninhibited. On a few occasions on holiday in Stratford-upon-Avon, I invented a game while my parents were drinking tea outside a cafe, so I was safely out of their sight. I involved my younger brother in this naughty game, which was great fun for me, but not for the recipients. It involved running up to random strangers, tapping them on the back, and saying something very silly to them when they turned around, such as, "Would you like some chicken?" Like the most randomest thing you could think of, I would say, just because I was interested to see what sort of reaction I'd get. And yes, it was very annoying, and they would turn around and give horrible looks, and I would find it hilariously funny and run off. And on public transport, I would often prod people, and one time I remember stroking this woman's hair. She was sitting in front of me on the bus, and I was just stroking her hair. She kept on turning around and giving me this really stern look, and I just found it really funny. And obviously when my mum found out, she would obviously really told me off about it. But I just kind of didn't have any I don't know. I guess I was just kind of wanting to push people's buttons and kind of seeing how they would respond, and finding their reactions just really funny, because I didn't really understand that people had feelings. I didn't understand it wasn't appropriate or right to invade people's space. To me it was just funny. So I did that, because it wasn't until much later that I realised that this wasn't appropriate, which is just as well I did finally work it out. And now I'm actually the complete opposite. I'm actually very self-conscious, and I guess very kind of almost too self-conscious, so it's kind of gone from one extreme to the other. It's I haven't hit a middle ground. I've gone from being completely uninhibited and now I'm completely not shy, but very wary of people I don't know. So it's kind of gone from one extreme to the next, really, which is, as I say, it's quite funny, strange, really. So yeah, I played okay with my brother, but him being my brother, of course, and 2 years younger than me, and obviously I controlled most of the games most of the time, so it's not demanding. So yeah, we played alright. We played teddy bear tea parties, which really remember perfection, which involved we lined up all our cuddly animals, including my dolls, and walked them one by one around my tea set, and I served them plastic food, and sometimes my animals annoyed my brother's animals or vice versa, and they got told off, so that was quite fun playing those games. I played toy cars with my brother and playing with his Thomas the Tank Engine railway set, which was great fun. I love those games, just reading the trains around his railway set was great fun. And also with my parents, I enjoyed playing a game called the walking game, which I invented when we went on our walks, and I was holding my dad's hand, and I narrated. It was a very complicated story, and I can't really remember the plot now, but I did invent these really quite elaborate, complicated stories when I was a kid, and it was about a girl and her brother who went on a train to a restaurant and back, and I was shaking my dad's hand. I held his hand, and I was sort of imitating the motion of the train, so I'd be like that, and I'll be narrating a story about the kids that I made up. And my brother also took up this game, and he actually got very into it, even more than I did, although his walking games always involved trains, because that's my brother's thing, trains. Whereas mine involved the imaginary brother and sister and their trips out to the restaurant. I also, one year while on holiday, I invented a pretend Ready Steady Cook TV programme, which is basically a real life series. And in my series, which I acted out to my parents while on our walks, the food involved horrible ingredients such as mud and slime, which I found really funny. Found it highly amusing. So as I said, I did have some imagination despite the stereotypes. Back at home, meanwhile, my dad facilitated play with the neighbours' kids, who were younger than me. Their grandmother also facilitated the play, and I loved racing with them on my bike, pretending to be on a bus, We had this great game of pretending a bike was a bus and stopping at various bus stops en route. And my brother played this game as well, and we'd go really fast on a bike, and it was just great fun. Had lots of outdoor play when I was a kid, lots of outdoor play, which I look back on with affection. It's very much an outdoors childhood, so I was very lucky in that respect. And yeah, played mud pies for a little girl. However, in later years we did fall out, and I completely lost contact with this. As I say, it was very much facilitated by our parents, really, and their grandparents. And we did fall out, and I couldn't keep up with them. I couldn't really keep up with the mechanics of friendships. That didn't last long term, but I do have good memories of it when it was working okay. Socialising, of course, became a lot harder in my teenage years. The other thing I do remember with affection is that I found it really hard to make friends as a kid. In year 6 at primary school, I did finally get the hang of skipping games. It took me a while, but I did finally get the hang of it in my last year of primary school. And those games, I think I talked about in another video, where you sort of stand in line and you run. It's like, in goes the doctor, in goes the nurse, in goes the lady with the alligator purse out. That sort of skipping game. And I remember I loved break times, because every break time I could take part in these games. It didn't matter that you weren't like friends with people, with the other kids, but anyone was included. You just stand in line, just run the skipping way. Once I got the hang of it, it was just great fun, and I just really enjoyed that game. It's such a shame, but then in my last year, which is the best year of primary school, and I really remember that year, great affection, everything was just absolutely great in that final year. I finally had a friend after all these years of being alone. I finally felt like I was actually enjoying school. We were learning about all this stuff I was interested in, the human body, ancient Greeks, everything was just falling into place. The teacher was the nicest teacher ever. She was just really understanding. And then I had to move to secondary school, and I had these great aspirations, these great hopes. Everything was going to click into place. I was going to make friends. It was all going to be absolutely fine and great. All my projects were going to solve. And of course, it never happened. So yeah, it's such a shame that I sort of wish that I could go back in time, really, and have that year again. And also, I sort of wish I could have stayed longer at primary school. I don't think I was quite ready to leave primary school at that age. I think many kids aren't ready to leave primary school at that age. I think it's often too early for them to be suddenly fussed into secondary school with exams and everything. But anyway, I'm going to finish this video now, because next week I'm going to try and carry on this review and talk about my teenage years, where things got even more demanding socially, and also, of course, my anxiety got a lot worse during that time as well. So anyway, so I hope you've enjoyed watching. 3 videos today instead of my usual 2, so sorry about that. It's just the previous video ran out on me. So you've got 2 longer videos again, 1 short video in the middle, but normally I try and get them into 2. It's just the way it happened. But I'm filming today on Tuesday because I'm going on an outing tomorrow with my support worker, hence why I'm releasing on Tuesday. But I will be filming as per usual next week on Wednesday. So thank you for watching.